You have just as much of a right to fucking be here and show up as yourself as anyone else on the planet. I don't care how much money you come from. I don't care where you grew up. You don't have to be a chosen one to be an artist or to have something to say or to deserve a seat at the table. I was having a conversation the other day about basically the ethics of social media and kind of our weird feelings around the idea of being an influencer, content creator, all these fucking labels. I've worked in digital marketing for about a decade, and I've offered freelance services in the past, and I know for a fact that I prefer working with artists and small business owners, entrepreneurs, innovators of any kind. On freelance, I literally started a business before that failed. Pretty confident that I know that I would prefer to work for myself. I also was a startup journalist for a while where I was interviewing entrepreneurs and asking them about their life. Basically, as someone who's getting ready to launch marketing consulting again, I have to ask myself, like, is it even ethical or good to think about a future in which everybody's just online? Because I have offered like social media content strategy, like start a YouTube, start a blog, like helping you figure out your vision and your voice, and then like how to feel less overwhelmed with the tools so that you could use them. Because I want these tools of how we now publish information in 2025 to get out there to the people who I think have something worthy to share. Not that, which the whole point of the video is that everybody does. So there's who's the judge of who's worthy to have something to share? Because that's kind of what I mean about democratized attention. Anybody with a phone and an internet connection can upload something. You don't have to beg and plead someone to give you a platform like on TV or something. Like, there's such a depth here that I think we take for granted. The internet and everything changed so quickly that we could take for granted how insane this is, especially those of us who are younger, who have basically always known life like this. Really sink into the gravity of that for so long artists literally had to be like people pleasers and like desperately begging for the approval of whoever owned the channel. And I know it's not perfect now, like we still have, I mean, God knows who owns TikTok at this point. I have not been keeping up, but like obviously people still own the social media channels, but we still have the power to upload or to share in a way that we've truly never before had. When I ask myself, do I think it's ethical, or is that even the world that I would want to be in, where everybody has a personal brand or whatever? I've gone back and forth on this so many times, so I have a lot of thoughts. But what I eventually come to in general is that for so long, like when you think about the history of mass media, it has belonged to people who have money. I graduated from the journalism school at the University of Missouri, which was a highly regarded journalism school. I just so happened to be from Missouri. And so I kind of went there like, well, I guess I'll do this, because I wasn't doing music. But Mizzou's journalism school attracts people from all over, like not just the country. And while I was thinking, I don't know, I guess I'll do this, I was surrounded by a lot of peers who like loved journalism. They knew that they wanted to do journalism, which was really intimidating for me at the time. But the reason why I bring this up is because I didn't have that fire in me necessarily to really try and make journalism my bitch, you know. But I saw people who did, and I also, part of the reason I didn't chase after a lot of journalism opportunities is because I couldn't afford to do an unpaid internship. Now, I'm not saying that all journalists, like, have to be Nepo babies, but I am saying that I, as not a Nepo baby, and as someone who's did not have a college fund, like, I'm 100% student loans, baby. Like, parents made too much to qualify for anything and not enough to have any money to give me. Which I remember my dad always telling me at the time, like, don't let the fact that we don't have all the resources to support you Don't let that hold you back from your potential or what you actually want to do. But the reality is, I didn't really want to do journalism. So why would I ask my parents to spend money that they don't have? Like, they wouldn't be able to support me on an unpaid internship. I had to work all through college, basically. And then even when I did get my first job as a journalist, I made so little money that I qualified for affordable housing. And the only way I was able to move out of my parents' house was Section 8 housing. And that was with an esteemed journalism degree and getting a journalism job. I bring all of this up to highlight the point that the people in control of the printing press or whatever the fuck channel, you need to have money in order to have access to the channel. Same goes with celebrities, singers, dancers, whatever. They either needed to have a stage mom that flew them out there to get seen. They needed to have enough money for an agent, whatever. It's like, do you really think that the highest quality artists just so happen to be the ones that got seen and got chosen? Or do you think that it was the pick-me artists that were begging and desperate for attention and validation that got chosen? No offense, I'm not saying that all artists are that way, because real artists will also grind and, figure it out and let their passion carry them. But if we think the current system that we've been living in has been fair, we're wrong. And I personally am of the belief that every single fucking person on this planet deserves a voice. Like, is that really so crazy to say? You shouldn't have to be worthy in order to have a voice. You shouldn't have to prove it to have a voice. If you want to say something, then fucking say it. And if you want to create something, you have every right to share it. You spent that time making that thing. And if you're proud of it, then that's good, actually. That's self-love. And that's also love of your community. Because if you created something that brought you so much value, then why not let others get the same value from it? I do think it would be kind of dystopian if everybody had a personal brand, in the sense that everybody was just selling you something and we couldn't be human. And I think that there's this fear that that's the road that social media is going to have to go down, is that us humans are going to have to start to act more like businesses. When no, buddy, it's the other fucking way around. These businesses are trying to figure out how to be human, and they're failing. They don't know how to be human. This entire creator economy is run on humanity, basically. TikTok would not, all these tech guys that own TikTok, whatever, they depend upon people being entertaining and human and having human connections. And all I'm saying is, I think every fucking person on the planet should, just as we have a vote, you should be able to vote with your voice. You should be able to show up 100%. There is so much room in the world for literally all of you. And if people are too cowardly to divert their attention from you, if they're not necessarily vibing with whatever it is that you're creating or your path or whoever you are, if they don't jive with you, it is their responsibility to divert their attention away from you. It is not your responsibility to change who you are, or to be less of you, or to try and shove yourself into one of two or many, to put yourself in a box. You get what I'm saying. Yeah, I think I would want to live in a world where the information that we pick up on is more democratized. Everybody has an entry point. And not everyone is going to want to talk as much. Some people are more introverted, but if you're someone where you're well, I don't know if I'm worth it, it's not about worth. It's truly not about worth.